their ancestors and loved ones who have passed on in the afterlife. And,
Beautiful.
I was raised Catholic, and I find some of the most powerful truths in indigenous cultures and Indian lore, and so for me, I'll take pieces from Catholicism, but I'll take pieces from a lot, and I'll take I'll take what resonates and feels, and that stuck with me so incredibly validating. It was so validating to me. It was so inspiring in a way of, there is this door, there's this veil, there's this doorway that we can't see it, but it exists. And we may get little glimpses. We may have dreams. We may have weird occurrences or visitations, but there's this invisible world that really is just a whisper away. And it really is such an integration that I feel if we could learn to understand energy in a way of allowing and integrating, and then even in death, love, because love can't be destroyed, so it's transformed in death. And so, that bond of love, it transforms into a different exchange of energy and how it's related and how it's felt and how it's deepened. And so, I know even with my own parents who are deceased, I have moments in prayer or connection where I feel their essence as if they're in the room with me. So I know that veil is very thin. I know the essence of life and death. Sure, it can't be measured scientifically entirely at this point in our reality, but, stranger things have been.
I agree.
So let's talk about your online community. How did that happen, Jack?
Yeah, that's a blur too. It really started about a year and a half ago. A good online friend, Alan Steve, he mentioned to me, he goes, Jack, you would be a great life coach. So I started thinking about it, and then I started doing my online studies about being a life coach, and then this hit, the cancer hit. So
wow,
I was going and through different avenues or whatever. This is what I was led to teach, and teach about how to die gracefully instead of what I used to talk about before is that you can either grow old bitter or grow old gracefully. So I just transmitted that over that to you can die gracefully or you can die bitter, So and dying bitter to me isn't an option, because you can't do anything about it. The why me's and that's fine during your grieving process to go through the why me's and whatever, that's fine. But eventually you've got to come out of that and decide if you want to enrich your life by, like you said, enjoying the moment, enjoying the days, or enjoying your community or whatever. So it just kind of, developed into this community that I started. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know, Lisa. It's a big blur. But I feel like I was truly led by God to do this, and it has really. I'm amazed. I don't know. It's almost like going, how did that happen? But it came out, and people have just overwhelmed me with their love, and we're exchanging this beautiful thing, and it is so rewarding because there have been people that are resonating with that and going, you know what, I don't have to die, which is fearful. And that's my thing is I don't want people to die that we'll have a little bit of fear, right, because that unknown, but that gripping fear that just grips every moment of your day that ruins your living moment. So my thing is how to live strong in that moment of life that there is so much beauty in the flowers or your dogs or your best friends or whatever. So my thing is I don't want people to waste one moment worrying about something that's going to happen anyway to all of us, no matter what we do. So he's living in the moment. So anyway, that's what kind of got it started. And yeah, you're right. It's just, I mean, it still floors me to this day. And the people in that group are just amazing, amazing people. So it's been put together, I think, miraculously. To be honest with you, I really, really do.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, I truly believe that whenever anything that comes together out of love like that and, generosity, it only grows because of the intention and the love, the godliness in it. There's a godliness in it, and there's a piece where people are, death is it still is such a taboo subject in so many ways because it elicits so much fear. I mean, it just elicits our, it's this mortality. It's this piece of, gosh, we could go tomorrow. We could go today.
Yep.
And
yep.
What have we done? Have we been a good steward? Have we been good on this planet? Have we offered ourselves in an honest way? Have we shown up? Have we gifted? And excuse me, I find that you've lived your life in such a way that has honored spirit, life, love, humanity. And in this diagnosis, God definitely puts you first and foremost in people's hearts to really deal with a subject that is so painful for so many. Excuse me, in a way that it comes from a place of fear. Yep. And I think that if we could start to look at this as a transitional piece.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that when people start to get to a place of looking at life and death, and they start to look at what they have been raised with in maybe death, maybe they've been raised with an afterlife, maybe they haven't, and they start looking at the finality of it. There's this fear of, was I led astray? Was I deceived? Is there really a heaven? And so, even my mother, who was a devout Catholic, she must have sensed when she was going to go, because she started to talk to me like a year or so before she passed about death and her fears of death and her fear of maybe this is all there is. This is a woman who, raised me on the afterlife, okay? So
right.
Here I am. I'm at least half of who I am because of this female, and here she is giving me her own fears and doubts, and I'm having to encourage her. So it was a very humbling reality for me, but at the same point, it was also this raw reality that people are fearful of what they don't know, and that's why science is so credible and why we default so much on fact and analytical, deciphering. But because there's this piece of what we don't know, we fear, and that comes our fate. So there's this word bodhicitta and I know it sounds Spanish, but it's actually Buddhist, and it's the awakened heart. It's the awakened tenderness. It's a returning home to our soft spot. And you embody this for me. You are this. You are this soft spot of bringing us all back to our awakened heart. So tell me how this feels to you, knowing that you're affecting people in a way that is bringing them back to their heart, their truth, that they're not afraid of death.
Yeah, I was raised a strict Southern Christian thing with a hellfire and brimstone thing, so I kind of understand what you're talking about, the Catholic part. And so, and let me tell you, Lisa, is that studied near-death experiences way from the time of 8 years old, because I guess maybe because I was so afraid, right, because of all the hell damnation stuff. So I've studied it for so long. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Is that so?
Okay.
As I went through, I had to come to that realization too, whether I believed in that kind of God or a God that's unconditional love, and that He did have something for us afterwards, that He would welcome us back home instead of sending us to whatever, you know. So I think that when people realize that God is unconditional, perfect love, and that He has nothing but good for us in store, and that we really, because back in the day, there was really no scientific anything, you know, say when it comes to the near-death experiences or whatever, but there has been so many that has come out over these years that talk about that perfect love, that perfect unconditional love, and that we have nothing to fear when it comes to death. It is unknown. We have nothing, like we talked about earlier, is that this is just one little step. And matter of fact, I believe this is the hardest step. After this step, it's all gravy after that, you know. So when you really, really start reading and understanding that, you know, because a lot of stuff was, I say, non-scientific. They just kind of went by, there must be an angry God because, you know, whatever, right, from whenever. But anyway, so now as we have grown and learned, and science does, there is, if you look at science and you, because some people don't want to believe it, right? You know, is they want to go, no, I got to go with my growing up. No, but science is nowadays showing that there is, these things do have validity to them, these near-death experience visions and or whatever. So my thing is that there's nothing to fear. There is not, you know, and if you do your research and you listen to stories, it's beautiful. I mean, it's, I'm excited because I'm the lucky guy, right? Either I stay here and enjoy my friends here on the my group, you know, the Facebook group or whatever, or I go to a better place. So anyway, so that's why I try to help people look at it that way. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I totally agree. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I absolutely was going to say amen, because you are absolutely, you're inspiring, whether it's online or you'll be inspiring on whatever dimension, because that's how your essence and energy is coming through. And I have no doubt that, you know, time and space, if there's an element of, you know, moving through that piece, you will be able to tap some of us on the shoulder. So there's this piece here.
Can I interrupt you real quick? I got to tell you this because this is what kind of got it started. I was on a near-death experience group, and this is what got the garden started, was that I told them that we'll start a garden and that I will be a butterfly and I will come and visit you. And that's where it got started. And I told them, I was saying, is that, so if when I come to you, if I land on you as a butterfly once, that's not me. But if you shoo me away and I come back and land on you twice, that's me coming to visit you. So that's why I look at that. Yeah, that's where they got the butterfly garden started, because and you know what, Lisa, is so funny is that people have said, I'm going to start my butterfly garden so you can come and visit me. So that just fires me up.
I am so touched by that. That is beautiful. And let me just add that butterfly is extremely powerful for me. It's my mother. It's how my mother showed up at her service, at her memorial. Is this huge butterfly just would not leave. My father showed up as an eagle flying overhead during his memorial.
Oh, beautiful.
So when I go hiking out in the woods, I'm always finding eagles and butterflies lately. And so I am going to, and I'm also planting a butterfly garden, Jack, and unknowingly that this was, yes. So here we are, Jack, you know, just resonating along.
I love it.
I do too. I just really love how spirit tickles our senses and our awarenesses and awakens our feelings in this way. Because, you know, there is this peace and this belief, and I hold this belief in that this is a transitory spot we're in.
Absolutely.
We're in a pit stop, and this is our learning. This is our growth. This is how good we get it. You know, where we go from here.
I agree.
And and how much we love, how much we give.